Hello. Hi guys. Hi. So we have a new friend for Self Isolate with B. Not just our guest who's coming, who is one of my favorite humans, but this little one who we're still debating names for. I am newly a new foster parent as of the last 2 hours. So she's gonna be joining us. She's the greatest. And I'm gonna put all of her details on my stories because she is up for adoption with the LaBelle Foundation. So I'm just the foster parent and we're looking for her forever home. So if you guys are interested, she's the sweetest. Hi, Brooklyn. All right. So Brooklyn Decker is coming on with us today and I'm so excited. I'm just gonna loop her right in because she's the greatest. And I'm pretty sure she has a cast table read that she has to do. So I'm gonna get her on here right now. Brooklyn, I'm just gonna go ahead and just, hi Abby. Abby's watching, that makes me happy. I'm just gonna loop you in. Have you met Brooklyn? You mean Brooklyn? You do look so. Oh, hello.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, you wrote today, and I was like mid. Say hi.
Hi, puppy.
It's like it's talking.
Wait, it's a little boy or little girl?
It's a little girl.
Okay, she just stopped and looked into the camera as if she was about to give her monologue. She's like, "Hello,
I know.
you're live." Oh, she's beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, what are the chances that you adopt her?
It can't happen. Because I promised myself that I would foster so it could find like the home that could really take care of it.
Okay.
Because it's just with my schedule, it would be selfish of me.
I get it.
As much as I want to. And when the time comes, like, I can't wait to adopt a dog. I can't wait. But I just, like, I need to know that I'll be able to not have it at family's houses or on the plane or whatever. I miss you so much. How are you?
It's you. I am doing well, all things considered. And I feel like, by the way, it's so great that you're doing this during this time because I know so many animals need fostering right now. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Well done. You're giving this pup a loving home. But no, I'm doing well. I mean, it's been years since I've seen you, and I feel like we have kept in touch though this entire time. Like, I know what's going on in your life.
I know.
Like I keep tabs on your family. Like I'm with you the whole way, and I just love seeing you kick butt. You're doing so well.
Thank you. You are too. You are so loved by everybody. I mean that. Like, we just have such love for you and the family, and like, you know, I get asked about Just Go With It all the time. Like, it's silly. It's just one of those things. And you were always a part of the initial reaction when I'm like, it was amazing. She is the loveliest human and like was the absolute sweetest to me and still is. And like Andy was like the best. And, like, I just
thank you, Bailee.
So much.
I feel like Andy and I were newlyweds.
Are you there?
That, yeah, can you hear me? I think I broke up a little bit. Am I clear?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel
no,
like
I'm there. Yeah, you got it.
Oh, wait, there's a little bit of a delay. Hold on. Are we good?
Hold on.
Are we good? Kind of.
Should I loop you back in?
No, let me see. Maybe I should move. Hold on. Let me see. Let me move. I'm like, this is going to sound terrible. I'm avoiding my children because it's almost bedtime. And they're like, "Mommy!" So I'm trying to hide from that.
It doesn't sound terrible. You're fine.
Okay.
I was honestly like,
is this better?
Alive. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Yes.
So yes, no, I feel like, okay, so for you, what's the main, like, what are you asked about most? If someone comes up to you, what's the main thing that people reference?
It honestly depends. It really does. And I think I've always been fortunate of that because like I did Disney, but only for a little bit. So like Wizards is something that comes up because it was enough to kind of been in the households enough. But I think Just Go With It is like, it has to be one of those things where when people put it together, it's like, or it takes them a second, they say a different project, and then they're like, no, just go with it. Like, it still goes back to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never had an experience like that. Like it was just the best. And my favorite thing about you, I remember saying this, I was like, she is undeniably like the most beautiful human inside and out. And like I just remember everyone else would be at like the adult pools, like, you know, in like the private areas. And like
Yeah.
you and Andy would be like at the Grand Wailea pool with me, like where
Yeah.
the water slides are, and you would just like and you were just so unaware of how everyone was like, she is incredible. And you were just like, let's go, the water slide. Like
Thank you.
so happy. Yeah, no, you're the best. You guys
Thank
are.
you.
I'm just happy for you and the family and the little ones, and yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
the greatest.
It's been so wild.
I know, but I thought it would be fun. We could answer maybe like a few questions. People have sent in some questions.
Yes.
And then you're doing your table read today, right?
Yes, but it's not for 2 hours. So
What is it? Because Grace and Frankie is such a great show.
Thank you.
You're so great on it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
People love the show, and we were in the middle of production on our final season. They announced our 7th and final. Wow. So we were in the middle of production. We shut down, of course, because of coronavirus. Right. And the cast has been Zooming every week. And we miss each other, and the people who watch the show really want to be a part of it and want to see what's going on. And also we were trying to figure out a way to raise money, you know, to help with relief right now. And so we decided last week to all get together and do a table read, and we're doing the first episode of season 7 is what we're reading. So it hasn't aired. It hasn't even it has maybe just hit the editing room. We just filmed it a couple of weeks ago. And it's all going to benefit Meals on Wheels, their COVID response.
They're doing such good work.
Yes, they are.
Yeah,
they've mobilized quickly. They're doing incredible. Yes. And by the way, thank you for bringing so much awareness to so many different causes right now. You're awesome. You always do that, but it just impresses me. I feel like the second I met you, it's so funny. You should know too, because you were so flattering. You should know that from like a very young age when I worked with you initially, everyone's like, this person is incredibly talented regardless of age. She's an unbelievable talent. And you were so mature and kind, but it wasn't in a way, I don't know if you feel this, but you know, sometimes you work with children in the industry and you're like, no, they're too grown up, like they're not children. And you had this amazing quality of like being incredibly mature, so grounded, but also you're totally yourself. And I just, it was very apparent that you were always going to be successful. So we love you.
That is the kindest. Thank you. I love you guys. I really do. And you were just so lovely. And I was thinking that the other day, it's been so like, I've been so humbled by like the people who have said yes to coming on here and doing this. And I was talking to Jennifer Morrison, who I did house with, and like two people that remind me so much of each other, because I met the both of you when I was like really young in a way, you know what I mean? And all of us are very different, and you can either be treated like someone who's young on set or kind of huddled in and been like, I got you, like we've got this together.
Yeah.
You are two women who did that, like full hearted, and like just will always mean the world, and like will always take that with me for anything. So thank you.
Thank you.
I love you. Let's see. Shall we pick questions?
Yes.
She's like, oh gosh, what did I get myself into?
So cute.
Okay, let's see. That's a good question. It's actually interesting. I don't really know my answer to this. Which character that you played resembles your personality the most? Do you have one?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I'm
trying to think.
Do you have one?
I would say the closest would be the character that I just played for 5 years on Good Witch.
Yeah.
Not identical at all. I think I have a bit more of a punch than she does, but the thing that I think I always related to was she always was like, if someone needed something, like that's what she was consumed in, and she never took, like, there was never a storyline about Grace, if that makes any sense. It was about Grace helping somebody else that she found, you know?
Yep.
But she would get over, like, the whole thing would get overwhelmed, but like her heart, like when she loved, when she, you know, was sad, like she was sad. So I think I just related to that, but I've never played anyone that I'm like, oh yeah, that's me.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you find that it's harder or easier because of that? Like, would you rather, do you find that it's easier to play someone who's totally disparate from who you are, or would it be easier to kind of step into just an extension of yourself?
I think it's almost more, it could be harder to do an extension of yourself because way more vulnerable and way more honest. And like someone else might know that, but you'll know that there's something inside of you you're now kind of giving out to someone else. And so I've never had that. That would be interesting to me. I think you enjoy the aspect of someone entirely different. Like things like, I think that's why I love horror movies so much, is it's like, I love doing them because like Lord willing, will never have to like hit someone with a baseball bat and like, you know, do stunts and jump out of a car. Like, so that's why I enjoy that. But yeah, I would wonder, what would you think for you?
You know, it's funny, I think, and I don't know if you feel like this with Good Witch, but I feel like the more you go on with the role, like the longer you play it, the more you bring yourself to it.
Yeah.
And so I've started bringing a lot more of myself to my role on Grace and Frankie, but she's still totally different from who I am. She's like very type A and has it all together, and I'm like a very messy person. I did this movie many years ago that no one saw called Casual Encounters, and it was probably like, I don't know, 8 years ago or so. And I would say no one saw it. It wasn't great, but that character was most like me because she was kind of an oddball, and I mean, not, you know, but like quirky and a messy person, like figuratively and literally. And that's very much me. But I think I tend to play like very sort of put together people. So I think that's probably the one that's most like me. But like you, I haven't really had one that I think like, oh, this is me.
Yeah.
And when I audition for those roles, they're always like, no, so wrong. So like, I'll read something, I'm like, this is me, this is my life. And they're like, nah, not at all.
It's not the fit. I just don't see it. I'm like, no, like I swear, like this could not be a better fit. Like this could not be better. Someone just asked what it was like. Tell me what to expect when you're expecting. And I need to ask because that was my movie for so long. I love that.
Really?
Oh my gosh. Because all I want to be is a mom. So like when that movie came out, I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is made for me. Like to get to, you were so great.
Thank you. Funny. But I feel like you've been saying that forever, by the way. Like I can imagine you're the best auntie in the world for that reason. You've always been so yummy with kids. So it's not surprising to me at all. It was so much fun. I shot it before I had children. So I had the whole prosthetic belly.
Wow.
You know, like I got to sort of play in that world before ever having gone through it. So I think it was so much fun for me. I think if I were to do that now, after having actually like gone through childbirth, the performance would be like, oh no, this is gruesome. You know, like my body's changing, childbirth is quite dramatic. Whereas when I was playing it, it was just so fun because it was make-believe for me. But I had a blast. Like Dennis Quaid was my husband, and he and I were both living in the same town at the time. So I loved it. It was so much fun. And it was one of those things where like you work with, it was sort of like a Love Actually type of thing where you work with the whole cast, you know? So it was a joy. I loved it.
Oh, it was so, I just remember being so stoked when I saw that you were in it. I was like, now I love it even more.
Thank you, Bailee.
Okay, let's see. You know what else cracks me up? Your Instagram stories. I send them to my sister all the time. And I'm telling you, like, if Brooklyn lived out here in LA, like, y'all would just be the best of friends because you remind me so much of each other. And like,
how's she doing, by the way?
She's good. She's I think about to post something within the next 2 days about kind of what they've been dealing with. And I'll let her talk about that, but she's doing okay now, which is good. But
love.
Yeah, it's just been such a crazy time. I think it's just, you know, this idea that you think you're fine or certain people are fine or certain, and it's just not the case. So it's just been like, you know, we've all seen each other, but as isolated as possible, which I thought was so sweet with your parents. Like when you did that, then like that is, I mean, it's trying to find what this new normal is, but realizing that a second next to them is not worth even the slight chance of something, you know? So that's been, I think, just really humbling and making you kind of be more grateful for,
Yes.
the little things in life too.
Yes.
Um,
If there's any good, it's that. It's appreciating
yeah,
your point exactly. All of those little
exactly.
things and the little moments with family. And
Yeah,
if you can't pull good out of this, uh, you'll be miserable. So you have to get
yeah.
find those little silver linings.
Yes. Someone said, "What's your favorite activity to do during quarantine?" But this is probably like kids related. What have you been doing with the kids? What do you do with kids in quarantine?
Oh my goodness. I mean, at first I thought honestly, if I can have a pity party for a hot second, even though I know I'm not
Absolutely.
to have one at all, I thought, oh my gosh, we have a 2 and a 4-year-old. Like we have 2 little toddlers in the middle of this
Yeah.
where they don't understand what's going on. It's not like a middle schooler or a teenager where you can explain to them what's happening.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say I was feeling sorry for myself because I was incredibly grateful to spend the time with them, but I definitely thought like, oh, this is hard.
Yeah.
But then I started seeing my friends who have older kids who are trying to maintain their own job, right? So they're already working from home.
Yeah.
And then they're trying to explain to their 15-year-old that they can't leave the house and see their friends. They're doing Zoom calls every hour of the day to keep up with their kids' education. And I'm like, oh no, we're good. We have it so much easier than so many people know. So initially we were just like, how do we entertain two toddlers all day? And now like we've been doing a lot of dance parties. We put on like Taylor Swift and blast the music and dance arounds all day and little things like that. But I look at other people who are doing this and trying to be a teacher and trying to maintain their full-time job. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So we have it pretty good right now. What's your favorite activity?
I would fit in well with your household. If it's a Taylor Swift dance party, I'd be all there. That's been me silently, like alone.
Yes.
Blasting. I'm learning how to play the guitar.
I love that.
As of 24 hours ago. So
how's it going?
It's going, it's going. I learned so the frets and the
Good.
E minor, whatever that's called.
I like it.
I'm getting there. I'm curious as to how that's gonna go now with this little guy. So I might have just lost that, but that's okay.
She might love it though. She might love being around it,
Yeah, she might love it. I read that if you put on a heartbeat of a puppy's heart, like the mom's heart, it helps them. And I put it on and she was like snoozed. I was like, that's crazy if that works. But honestly, I think, I've talked about this a lot on here. I've never really had this much time alone with myself. Yeah. Or even with someone, but like alone in a conversation is just a life conversation. There's no work attached. There's no disattached so for me, that has been very interesting, like to have to sit with myself and then feel something and not have something to go, I don't have time to feel that because I have to go do this, so I'm just going to compress that until like a couple nights from now when I have a good cry and then it's done. It just happens. And I literally 2 nights ago I just started bawling on the phone with my boyfriend because I was like, this whole situation is so sad because my heart really does feel for just the world. It's just the craziest thing to try and comprehend. So I try to make the most of it. And then if some days I'm just not making the most of it, I try to just be gentle about that too. But I think realizing the privilege that I have to be able to be in my house and safe and healthy, and it could be what so many other people are going through. And that's the reality of the situation. So I think once I turn that flip, it's just grateful for what I have and prayers to everyone else. And
hang on, not to interrupt you because this is so important, but a UPS man just came to my front door. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, that's okay. I'm waiting on one too.
Hi.
I just want to say thank you for the Starbucks gift card. I got one of those yesterday.
You're so welcome.
I was trying to personally thank y'all.
Of course. Thank you for going from house to house. We really appreciate it.
That was very generous of y'all.
Cool. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Thanks for your service.
I
promise that was not planned.
That was the most wholesome content I have ever received on a live.
Well, he rang the doorbell and I was like, oh, he'll just leave it. We left out, I do want to get back to what you were saying for a second, but
I want to get to this.
We left out Starbucks gift cards because our local coffee shop is shut down and all of the delivery people like FedEx and UPS and Amazon, all those guys are going from house to house, touching boxes all day. And I talked to our UPS guy the other day and I said, are you guys, have they given you any safety measures? And he said, well, we're wearing gloves, but that's kind of it. Anyway, so we left out gift cards. So he was just knocking on the door and thanking. But I promise that wasn't planted.
Yeah, even if it was.
That's so funny. No, there's the truck. Wait, you can see there's this truck leaving the
Oh my God.
the driveway. Okay, but let's talk about what you were saying for a second.
No, but that honestly, that is so sweet and such a good idea, because no one's going out and these, like, I've tried, you know, I was so hesitant about doing these lives because, and I think I restate it, probably everyone's so sick of hearing it, but just in case there's one person who's new to, you know, what this whole thing is trying to be, I was so hesitant about doing anything publicly or on live or on Instagram or social media, just because, rightfully so, like, all of our emotions are heightened and everyone is checking one another's privilege and checking one another's, like, things and what they're saying, and like that is real, right? So but then I kind of came to this point where I was like, there is one thing that we can do when we feel so helpless about things, and that's if you don't have an essential job, you have the ability to isolate. And I was like, there's so many teenagers that I was seeing online that weren't doing that or weren't taking that seriously. And so I was like, maybe this can be a way to just try and, you know, be there for them. But going back to what you just did, I mean, those are the people at the front line, who honestly are every single moment, like, they put their lives at risk. They put their families' lives at risk because they have to. And my mom was saying, like, you should leave out, you know, a water or a Gatorade or a Starbucks card or something. So I love that. If you can do that, like, you should. That's so good. I'm gonna do that now.
Do it.
Yeah,
do it.
I love that.
Well, it's so to what you were saying. First of all, I think you're right with the checking of privilege. I think we're all doing that, and I think that's a healthy thing, of course, especially like prior to this, we were all living sort of in the land of excess, you know? And so I think it's really good to have that sort of recalibration. But I will say, two things can be true, right? Like, you can totally own the fact that you are so fortunate. You have food in your belly, you have a roof over your head, you are able and privileged enough to shelter in place. Like, you can acknowledge all of that and also still have really bad days, and also still have struggles, and also know that this isn't what you anticipated. This isn't something you planned for. This isn't something you can emotionally brace for. So, like, all of that can be true. And I just think that, you know, I've been talking to a lot of friends who are feeling guilty for feeling guilty. And it's like, no, don't add that. Like, you already have a full plate. Don't add more guilt onto yourself because you're not going without. So I think what you're doing is great. Like, you're trying to create human connection, bring people together, and keep people in their homes. And I think when we're all, like, looking to connect with each other because we can't physically, this is a beautiful way to do it. So
thank you.
Be forgiving of yourself. That's
all. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, I agree. I was talking to a friend last night, and she was saying that she felt guilty for certain things, and I said basically what you just said, but when it comes to myself, I don't listen to it. So
of course,
I appreciated being told that. That was lovely.
Of course, we're all like that. Of course.
She is passed out right now. Hold on. I do have to just, like.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, could not be more gone.
It's like, your voice, like your voice, and like the feeling of being that. It's so sweet.
She's so lovely. She's so sweet. I just had a thought. I just thought back to Hawaii when I didn't know, like, what paparazzi was or whatever, but they were always on the beach. And do you know how many people, like my best friend, how many times I get roasted with, like, those beach paparazzi photos? Because it's me, like, next to you on the beach, and it will still be one of the most iconic things in the entire world. And then it gets better. Then it's you, like, whatever, on the beach, like, talking, but, like, you're covered, like, you're talking. And then it cuts to me in school with Griffin, but it's in, like, a cabana because that was our school.
Right.
And I'm not learning. Like, I'm just shoving chips down my throat. Like, every angle is me like this, like, with the chips falling down. Like, I get roasted so many times a day with my best friend with that, and I just laughed because, like, her brother came in yesterday and he was like, Brooklyn's going on tomorrow, right? He was like, it was a hard choice in those pop photos, but I always towards her. I was like, shut up. Like,
that is so funny. Well, and of course, like, you know, because we were filming, I was covered with, like, full bronze makeup and oil and hair. Like they were doing, I had all the
That
work.
day was chilly for Hawaii too. Do you remember?
It was.
When you got out of the water? It was really windy. It was like cloudy for the first time.
It was cold. Yeah, it was bizarre. And by the way, like that was pretty new to me too at the time. Like I remember, it was so funny. So they wanted me to do a cartwheel, and there are paparazzi pictures.
I remember
of a cartwheel.
Yeah,
they wanted me to do a cartwheel in a scene, and I remember Jennifer Aniston going, "Are you sure you want to do a cartwheel?" And she perfectly understood that, like, oh, there are going to be a ton of cameras out there. Like, are you sure? And but for me, she was protecting me, and I had no idea what she was talking about. I'm like, what do you mean? It's it's my first movie. I'll do whatever you want me to do. I'll do a cartwheel, sure. But she had the wherewithal to be like, trust me.
I got tagged in an old interview when her and Adam were doing press about the scene that we filmed in Kauai when like the rainforest scene. Do you remember?
Yes.
When and there was so much talk about like make sure it's clear because people could be hiding. And I think you and I were like, this is crazy. Yes. And the moment that she went to jump in the water, all the flashes went off, and it was like crazy. But then she told the story in the press, so I think I can say it. When she like jumped in, I was in the water, and she looked at me, the bottoms had fallen, and she was like, Bailee, I need you. And all the scuba divers who were under there to make sure like if something happened to us, we're starting to swim. And I was like, no. Pulling them up, and like I got tagged at the end of the day. I was cracking up. I was like, oh my gosh. But there were just so many great, like, just like
it was magical.
Yeah,
it was magical. I didn't know that story. I didn't know about her, you kind of like
being. Did you not know that?
No, I didn't know that.
It was when she jumped in, and and that I don't know if you could like remember it. It was when they had to bring the board for her to rest on.
Yeah,
and like she was in the water, so I was there like holding it basically, and like because we knew the pops had already had that happen, so then it became like an escalated thing of like, all right, we need to figure this out. And then I broke out in hives from the mud. When I
that's right.
The mud everywhere. It's my first facial that I got on that movie.
And you broke out in hives.
I loved it. I was like, I'll do it again tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
It was so funny.
That's such a great first experience. I mean, it wasn't your first, of course. You had done plenty before that. But like, what a good early experience for all of us.
Yeah, beyond. I think everyone. And it's funny because I've said this when someone asked me the other day, I was like, I literally almost didn't audition for it the night before because I had auditioned for 3 other of Adam's movies and didn't get them. And I just was like, I'm not going to get this one.
Yeah.
And I was like, fine. Like, it shoots in Hawaii. There's dolphins. That's cool. And so I went in, and I will forever be just the most like special, beautiful, wonderful thing in the entire world. Like, it just was. And like, I just love you. And like, it just,
so much.
I
agree. That's how I felt about that whole project and you and everyone on it. And it was like magical. It was one of those special, you hope you get that experience in your career. And it was so much fun. And I think that's why people still love watching it. You know, like people still watch it with their kids. I think it makes you feel good.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Should we answer one more question? And then
Let's do it.
Go get ready for the thing. So how can I watch it?
Oh, so it's on Netflix is a Joke's YouTube channel.
Okay.
Tonight. So it'll be live on their YouTube channel at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And I think it'll be an hour. So Jane and Lily will start, and then we'll all join in, I think, at like 8:02 Eastern. And we'll be reading a new episode.
Okay, I love that. Everyone is spamming about what your favorite Taylor Swift song is. There are like, it's endless. Do you have one?
Oh my goodness. So my favorite one off the new album that I feel like isn't getting the love it deserves.
Okay, I'm ready.
Is the what is it called? Hang on, I'm going to my hold on.
Yeah,
I'm going to I want to get to that. Wait, there we go. It's God's something. It's like worship. She's like worshiping his body.
Yeah.
What's it called? And it starts with that little like jazzy bit. You know what I'm talking about? It's like quiet, and it starts with that little like.
What is it? Hold on.
I keep wanting to say God. Worshiping at her hips. It's so soft. What is
I'm
it?
trying to find it. Is it off Reputation or Lover?
No, it's off Lover.
Okay.
False God?
False God. False God. Yeah, False
That's
God.
my favorite song off the new album, and I feel like it hasn't been getting, like, people aren't talking about it. It's not getting the hype it deserves. Like, that song, it's so good, and it's like, you're kind of like, oh, T Swift, you got saucy, girl. Like,
I know.
it's hot.
I know.
It's a good
No,
song.
that's
I
a
like
good
it.
song. I like that song. What is it off of Lover? I do love Lover. I know that just is like, it's just a great song.
Yeah.
And I love Cornelia Street. That
Yeah.
gets me in my feels. But for personal reasons, I feel like she personally just wrote these two songs for me. I love Paper Rings and then London Boy.
I love London Boy.
Yeah.
I love You Need to Calm Down. Like,
Okay.
that like, that, like, you just sort of fall into it, you know? You listen to that first thing in the morning and you're ready to conquer the day. It's just good. I'm just a fan. I always have been. And I always will be.
I know. Well, I hope when this is all over, I can see you guys, and I really would love that so much. I just would. But thank you for coming on here, because
Of course.
we're so excited. And I mean, for me, even, and I said this, I was like, I've been getting the most lovely messages and personal messages of just, friends that are nurses who have been watching this, and one of the nurses now has it and is isolating and is still watching, like, just some real beautiful stories of real life. And I think the thing for me too is, for sure that you just made someone else's day, but like for me to have even this has been so helpful for me every day. So like I'm equally as grateful and happy, and I just send all my love. So thank you.
I adore you. Thank you. And as a daughter of a nurse, thank you to all the healthcare professionals out there. We appreciate it. We love you. We're so grateful. And you're right. If this brings a little smile, then job done. So Bailee, I love you. I'm going to get out of here.
Tonight. I'll watch it. I can't wait.
I owe you dinner when I'm back in Los Angeles. Be safe.
We will cook together. I will love that.
Would love it.
Cook
okay.
Taylor, it'll be great.
Yes, please. Okay. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Love you. Thanks, Brooklyn.
Love you.
Everybody. Bye. She's the sweetest. That just made me so happy. She really has, y'all. She's just been one of those people. I was 10 when I met her, and not a lot of adults are down to keep in touch with a 10-year-old and be so lovely, and she just always has, and she's always been there. And so that just made my heart so happy. So thank you, Brooklyn, for taking that time, and I love you. If any of you guys are just joining in or are new or have been on these lives, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but I just wanted to say that this has just been such a lovely thing to be able to talk to you all, and has meant so much to me as I've been self-isolating. I cannot express the importance of self-isolating and staying home and staying inside. If you have the ability to, it isn't a lockdown. It's honestly a privilege to be able to be under a roof and safe and healthy and protecting not just yourself, but the people that you love and people that you don't even know that you could come in contact with who have loved ones. So please do your part. Please stay inside. And if you are one of the many who are an essential worker, from nurses to doctors to staff, grocery store workers, security guards, delivery guys, I mean, the list goes on and on. If you know someone, thank you so much for all that you're doing. Thank you for putting your life at risk in order to keep us safe and to keep us good, and for just fighting on the front line of all of this. Me and my family are thinking of you guys, always sending love and prayers. Please stay safe. And I am fostering this little guy. She's the cutest. So if you guys are interested in adopting her, I would love to talk about it, because I want to find her forever home. And while we're all isolating right now, it's kind of the best time to do it. And she's an angel, you can see. So you can go ahead and DM me and let me know if you guys are interested. I would love that. Sending lots of love. God bless you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.